Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
In fact, breaking news on two fronts in the race for the White House. First, NBC and CNN are both now calling the state of Michigan for Joe Biden.
But as that happens, chaos at the TCF Center in downtown Detroit, where Michigan just became a whole lot more than a battleground state, as people demand access inside to watch the vote being counted. Now the first lawsuit has been filed as the key races sit on a razor's edge.
Good to have you with us for a very busy edition of Local 4 News at 5. That lawsuit filed by the Trump campaign is asking for the counting of ballots to be stopped immediately so that observers can be brought in to oversee the process.
That comes as the key races for president and U.S. Senate in Michigan remain within just a few thousand votes. Take a look right now at the race for Senate. The incumbent Gary Peters has a 12,000 vote lead over John James, a virtual dead heat there.
Mara McDonald with the new information on the lawsuit from the Trump camp. We'll get to her in just a moment.
But we want to start with consumer investigator Hank Winchester and some chaotic moments today as people tried to get into the TCF Center to watch the count. Hank, they were denied access on the grounds of COVID-19 restrictions.
Kimberly, Devin, that is in fact the case. It has been a very interesting, historic, and at times, as you mentioned, chaotic day here at the TCF Center. I want to give you a live look behind me right now. Well, what you're seeing is groups of people that are working to get their way into the area where that counting is still continuing. People representing the GOP, people representing the Democratic Party. You did mention that things got a little bit tense earlier today. I want you to take a look and listen at the video. That was people chanting, "Stop the count." Those are people representing the GOP that made their way down here this afternoon, encouraging workers here to stop counting the ballots, the absentee ballots. We are told that there are about 20,000 ballots still left to be counted here in the city of Detroit. But throughout the day, there have been people representing both parties who've been really focused on getting inside because they want to oversee the counting process. We had an opportunity to speak to people on both sides of this issue, Democrats, Republicans. Take a listen.
I've been here all day since this morning, and they've got capacity issues supposedly where they're at capacity for both parties. However, as our workers come out to grab lunch or whatever, they're not allowing us to replace them. When you walk in, they ask us to check in and they ask what party you're with, and then as soon as you say GOP, they say, sorry, we're at capacity with both parties.
Because the election is so tight, and because we had a pandemic, all these votes are coming in late, and under the rules, you can count votes as long as they came in on election day. You can count them after election day.
Back out here live in the lower level of the TCF Center. Things calm right now. The counting is continuing despite the legal move by President Trump's team, despite the chants and the action on people on both sides of this issue, working to make sure that this process moves forward. The Secretary of State has made it clear all day long, and she's repeated herself several times, she believes what is happening here is fair, is legal, and she wants this count to continue right now until every vote is counted. Again, that is the situation here in the lower level of the TCF Center. It's changing minute by minute, so bear with us. Of course, if there's any new information or updates from here, we'll bring it to you live. For now, we're live here tonight at the TCF Center. Hank Winchester, back to you.
Quite an afternoon. We'll get back to Hank in a bit. Now, we now need to turn to this lawsuit filed this afternoon in the Michigan Court of Claims by the Trump campaign.
Let's get to our Mara McDonald for that part of the story this evening. Mara?
Well, Kimberly, we've got our first look at what this Trump lawsuit looks like. And yes, filed at the Court of Claims in Lansing. And here is what this lawsuit is asking for. It wants the absentee vote count to cease immediately. It is alleging that meaningful access is not being granted in this state. What they mean by meaningful access is what you just heard Hank talking about, which is allowing poll watchers, election inspectors, and people like that in to monitor how the vote is being counted. This lawsuit also wants an election inspector at each absentee voting counting board. So All of this comes in this lawsuit at the same time that NBC projects Joe Biden is the winner of Michigan. I don't think it is a surprise that we've got legal challenges on the ground here today. We reached out to former U.S. Attorney Barb McQuade about the strategy of this, and I don't think she's surprised about it either. Take a look.
Well, President Trump has said he is going to, challenge results. He's going to bring his lawyers in. So I do think it is part of a strategy. It may be that he is, attempting to throw a lot of darts at the board and see if one of them will stick. But I think there could be some legitimate reasons. In a very close election, recounts serve a purpose. Sometimes mistakes are made. Sometimes things are undercounted or overcounted. So, usually it requires a very thin margin before the state rules permit a recount, but we may see some that are that close.
Back here live, and let's talk about that close. One of those races that is that close is that U.S. Senate race, and we just spoke to the James campaign. They are on the ground out here at TCF, and they are not pleased at how the count is going on inside there, and they tell me they are considering their legal options as well. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, and the 2020 race for the White House is still an open question, with several battleground states still counting millions of ballots.
Democrat Joe Biden is urging patience. President Trump used these incomplete results last night to claim victory, which wasn't true. Alice Barr is at the White House with the latest.
Devin and Kimberly, this is a much tighter race than predicted, but in many ways it is playing out as expected, with elections officials asking for patience as they ensure every vote is counted.
With election results still hanging in the balance, NBC News this afternoon projecting Joe Biden as the apparent winner of Wisconsin, boosting his margin over President Trump. The results in that key battleground so razor thin, they may depend on a recount and confirmation. Votes still being tallied in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada. State election officials feeling the heat to get it right.
Even once a ballot comes in, as you all know, it has to be validated. The signature on the envelope has to be checked.
As expected, yesterday's in-person voting leaned toward President Trump, while the mail-in ballots still being counted have been trending for Biden. The Democratic candidate today projecting confidence and urging patience.
I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Early this morning, President Trump continued his months-long unfounded attacks on the election's integrity and claimed victory based on incomplete results.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Today on Twitter, the president falsely claiming, quote, they are finding votes for Biden all over the place. In fact, elections officials are counting votes that were mailed in before the deadline, standard procedure in any election. But then again, this is an election unlike any other. The nation sharply divided and anxiously awaiting word of a winner.
Several of President Trump's Republican allies, including Senate Majority Leader and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, are dismissing his claims of victory and saying the ballot counting should continue. From the White House, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, and as those votes continue to be tabulated in parts of the state, we are starting to get a county-by-county look at how these races unfolded.
Let's get over to Grant Herms for a look at new data that's just come in the past few hours or so. Grant?
And it's been rolling in all afternoon. We've seen a lot of races here we're watching outside of the presidential race, including that extremely close race for the Senate. But we're going to swing through the House first here, starting with District 8. This is Representative Alyssa Slotkin, who won re-election here, mostly on the backs of Ingham County Democrats. That's just down here. We're going to take it northwest to District 3. This is that open seat left behind Justin Amash. Peter Meyer there winning that handily. Same thing over here. Lisa McClain has taken District 10. That is an open seat left by Representative Paul Mitchell. Now in the 11th, that's the other one Democrats are really working to fight here. Haley Stevens really trying to hold on to this seat. That district includes parts of Wayne and Oakland counties. Oakland says they have finished their count, so Stevens is hoping that those late counted, likely Democratic absentee ballots from Wayne County will be making the difference. We're going to move ahead here to that Senate race, which has changed a little bit here, and I'm going to back out and go to the state of Michigan as a whole. There we go. So that's our count right there. Peters has started to grow his lead about 11,000 votes or so, and that's after James's general counsel this afternoon tried to claim victory. Peters and James picking up the counties we expected here. Most likely other Democrats that Peters is hoping get those late mail-in counts to break his way. We do want to point out, though, one thing, Antrim County, which is what we started with here. It's not that nobody's voted, it's that sometime during the count early this morning, election officials there became aware of what they think is a software problem with the count that gave Democrats a lead in a reliably red county. So they've stopped reporting until that's resolved. And Devin, we knew this race would be uncertain, but uncertainty like this is just not what we want to see when it comes to an election like today's. Yeah, really strange, Grant. You're right. Earlier, that vote was there from Antrim County. You go on now and you get zeros. Really strange situation. About a 4,000 to 6,000 vote swing that could be either way, and we just don't know right now. We'll stay on that as well. All right, Grant. Wall Street didn't seem to mind the chaos today surrounding the election. At the closing bell, the Dow was up over 450 points. The market, in fact, actually jumped 600 points at the opening bell, but then trailed off a bit by the close. Well, now to today's coronavirus numbers, and unfortunately, there is another big spike to report. 4,101 new cases to report over these past 24 hours, and the state reporting another 19 deaths.
Now I want to go ahead and bring in Bernie with some major COVID-19 news involving the Lions.
Yeah, not a great development here, Bernie.
No, not at all. But well, let me go through and we'll see what happened. Late this afternoon, Lions announced they've placed Matthew Stafford on the COVID list. According to ESPN, he is considered a high risk because of close contact from a non-team member. So what that tells me is he's not showing symptoms or he doesn't have it, but something's going on. He was near someone that did have it. His last contact was this past Monday. We've got highlights of the Lions practice this afternoon, and Stafford was not there. Chase Daniel, David Blau ran the show. Since his last contact was Monday, he would be eligible to come off the list Sunday and could play against the Vikings. Of course, that's pending negative tests all week from Matthew Stafford. Stay tuned. We'll hear from several teammates and head coach Matt Patricia, who didn't talk about Stafford this morning when he met with the media at all. This story broke late this afternoon. We're back in about a half hour. See you then.
Okay, Bernie, thank you. We've got much more to come here on a Wednesday. Let's check in with Ben.
How's this to lower your blood pressure? A lot of sunshine out there. Temperatures snuck into the 70s today. And wait till you see where we're headed for the weekend. That's next.
A devastating accident here in Shelby Township. The driver of an ATV loses control. 2 kids riding with him are badly injured when he hits a home.
It went from we're just sitting in the living room winding down, waiting for all the election madness, and then 0 to 100, things changed real fast.
That man pulled the ATV off of the kids. Tonight, police update us on how those kids are doing and why they believe that driver may have been drinking.
A man with mental issues is killed during an officer-involved shooting, but it turns out he tried to get help. That story coming up.